Dear friends, good morning. We usually conduct our practical classes in our laboratory, museum, and in our kitchen garden. Topics related to environment, entomology, nutrition, occupational health, genetics, reproductive and child health, etc. are discussed over two terms in morning classes. In university exam, in practical exam, spots are asked. There would be 2 to 3 questions for each spots. Similarly, epidemiological exercise and a exercise for applying statistical test is usually asked in your practical assessment. I would like to share a few slides with you which we usually share with you in our regular practical classes. This picture shows chlorine tablets. At domestic level, for purification of drinking water, chlorine tablets are very suitable. The strength of tablet is 0.5 gram. A tablet is crushed and the powder is put into the water intended for drinking purpose. The tablet gets dissolved into the water and a contact period of 30 minutes to 45 minutes is required for neutralizing organic matter and destroying pathogenic microorganism inside the water. After such contact period, water can be used. One should be knowing that chlorine will act only if the water is not turbid. Whenever there is an epidemic or threatened epidemic of water related illnesses because of breakdown in pipeline, as a short term measure, one can use such chlorine tablets for purification of water at his or her home. In urban slums and in vast rural areas, chlorine tablets are commonly used for purification of water. Chlorine is highly reactive element, so chlorine tablets are packed in black color plastic bags. Chlorine tablets should be kept in an airtight container. This picture shows a sanitary well model. Although it is not a sanitary well, but it contains a few features of a sanitary well. In our country, still more than 60% of the villages depend on well water for drinking water purpose. Especially during rainy season, we need to chlorinate the well water. For disinfection of well water, we need to measure the volume of water inside the well. A formula of pi d square h upon 4 into 1000 is used to measure the volume of volume of water inside the well. Once the volume of water is known, the required amount of chlorine powder is taken to chlorinate the well water. A health worker or a volunteer in village usually informs people that he is going to chlorinate the well water. This chlorination is usually carried out in the evening. So overnight period of contact would destroy microbiological organisms and neutralize organic matter in the water. From morning, the water would be usable for drinking purpose. When serious kind of epidemic is going on, once a day or once in 2 days chlorination is carried out depending upon the yield of water. So at village level, all wells which are intended for drinking water purposes should be chlorinated regularly. This large model is available in our kitchen garden. It shows a slow sand filter. The most important part, or what we call heart of a sand filter, is a sand bed. A large poster applied over this model would give you an idea how a sand bed looks like. Most of the cities which depend on surface water for drinking water supply usually have a rapid sand filter or a slow sand filter. There is a small difference between the design of sand bed as far as rapid sand filter and slow sand filter is concerned. You can see that the graded sizes of gravel and sands are kept or are set to prepare a sand bed. Raw water passes through this sand bed, and at outlet we would have a clean potable water. In large water works which processes the raw water from surface water sources like Tapi River, Yamuna River, would have different tanks. The first tank would be of storage tank, in which huge water body is kept for 48 to 72 hours, because storage is the most important process for purification of water. Sedimentation takes place, which makes the water free from many suspended particles. After that, alum, fatakdi is added to such water tank and flock formation takes place. After that, liquid chlorine or chlorine gas is added to the water. Such chlorinated water is supplied to overhead tank, and then through pipe water supply it reaches to every household. Zuclear layer is formed in such sand bed, which also facilitate making the water free from microbiological contaminants. This picture shows Horrocks apparatus. Although not much in use in practice nowadays, it was prepared by National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, Nagpur. Horrocks apparatus has 6 white cups and 1 black cup. Horrocks apparatus is used to estimate chlorine demand of a water source. Different water sources may have different chlorine demand depending upon the turbidity and contamination inside that water. Black cup and all 6 white cups are filled with water to be tasted. Black cup is used to prepare a stock solution and white cup are numbered and increasing amount of stock solution is added. The serial number of cup which shows first discoloration, that number is multiplied by 2. The figure would give us the amount of chlorine powder required in gram for disinfecting around 455 liters of water. Once the amount of well water is measured, the chlorine demand is estimated, chlorination is carried out. To measure the free residual chlorine level, chloroscope is used. This picture shows an instrument which is called chloroscope. With the help of solution orthotoluidine, this simple self-sufficient device would measure the amount of free residual chlorine in a chlorinated water. The expected free residual chlorine at any end user water source would be 0.5 ppm. If the free residual chlorine is less than 0.5 ppm, it means that the water has been contaminated after it has been released from waterworks, or inadequate chlorination has been carried out. Such chloroscopes are usually used by health supervisors for testing whether the chlorination is adequately done in any water source or not. In our laboratory, 2 to 3 modern water purifiers are available. These 2 wall-mounted water purifiers are using modern technology. These are very suitable for household purpose or in small settings like shops, banks, and other commercial units. It provides safe drinking water using a number of advanced technologies like ultraviolet filtration, advanced candle, and so on. It requires continuous water supply and electric supply for its functioning. The maintenance of such electronic devices are not so cheap. So in our country, the uses of such drinking water modern purifiers are still restricted to urban areas and affordable units only. Every 6 to 12 hour maintenance is required in most of the advanced water purifier. It requires to change the cartridge and many other parts of the instrument. It has been observed that the technology which uses RO system would result into loss of precious water over a period of time. This picture shows a rural kitchen. It should be known that the use of biofuel mass in kitchen would generate particles. This causes intradomestic air pollution. Such intradomestic air pollution is a health hazard for infants and young children as well as people having respiratory diseases and old age individuals. It is preferred not to use such biomass fuels, but all household kitchen should try to replace such conventional method of burning and cooking by liquid petroleum gas or electricity or some other alternative fuels which are safe. You can see two tanks, fish tanks in our kitchen garden. These are called hatchery. It is very difficult to maintain these hatcheries. Gambusia fishes and guppy fishes are well-known larvivorous fishes. These fishes have fast reproduction and can eat all aquatic phases of many insects, especially mosquito. These are environmentally friendly measures. Most of the governments promote use of such biologically friendly measure as a measure for vector-borne disease control program. Use of guppy fishes as a peridomestic measure for controlling breeding in sources where large amount of water is there is recommended over the use of pesticides and oils. In most of the developing countries, management of solid waste disposal is a very difficult job. It is very troublesome in our towns and cities. You may read in detail about solid waste and refuge disposal. We have a small model of an incinerator in our kitchen garden. Incinerator means a simple kachra bhatti. Such incinerators are popular in Western world where the refuge is segregated. The solid waste is segregated. In our country, such incinerators are appropriate more for settings like hospitals. In our setup, hospitals usually have such incinerators. Incinerators are not so popular in our country because the refuge is not segregated at source. It is mixed with dust and other things which makes the burning of refuge difficult. This picture shows one more method of waste disposal or refuge disposal. This is called sanitary landfill. In areas where sufficient land is there, one can go for sanitary landfill. A large ground is occupied by local authorities, and the organic and inorganic refuse are regularly spreaded over the ground. A fencing wall is created to prevent entry of rodents and stray animals. The oxidative mechanisms would reduce these refuse to a small mass, and over a period of time, the cities and the towns could be cleaned and the refuse can be disposed of in such grounds. These are better than the conventional dumping grounds for waste disposal. One more method is composting. A dug is created of the size of 4 by 5 feet and having depth of 90 centimeter. Dry leaves, green leaves and other refuges are put inside the dug and water is sprayed. Oxidative mechanism, aerobic method and anaerobic methods are used so that the compost would get reduced in size. In Bangalore method, solid waste is also used. So one layer of general refuge and the next layer of solid waste. Again one layer of general refuse is used in Bangalore method. The composting and sanitary landfill are common methods of refuge disposal in our country. At the end of 3 to 4 months, a process would continue inside the compost which generates heat high as 60 degrees centigrade. Such continuous high heat would kill all microorganisms and ova and cyst of helminths. So that becomes a manure and can be mixed with soil and can be used for farming. In our country, day by day, the problem of biomedical waste is also increasing. Gujarat Pollution Control Board and Central Pollution Control Board, GPCB and CPCB, they continuously work for monitoring biomedical waste disposal system. Over a period of time, different rules are formed and amended as far as biomedical waste disposal is concerned. You can see two white containers having symbol of biomedical waste disposal and different 3 to 4 colored containers or bags are used to segregate different kinds of biomedical waste. Usually red, yellow and blue bags are used. Black bag is used for general waste disposal. The hardboard or plastic containers are used with 1% sodium hypochlorite solution. You may go through the biomedical waste disposal categories in our textbook. This is a digital sound level meter. Most of the industries have noise pollution. A factory inspector is required to measure amount of sound produced in different areas of any industry. This is a very simple battery operated instrument and gives us reading in decibel. The accuracy of this instrument is up to plus or minus 1.5 decibel. You may read in our textbook about the health hazards of noise pollution and various levels of decibels of noise generated at different places. This picture shows Harpender's calipers. In research studies related to nutrition, such instruments are required for measuring muscle thickness, say triceps muscle thickness or biceps muscle thickness. This instrument is available in our museum. You may be aware of a number of different growth charts. More than 50 such road to health charts have been developed by different agencies. In our country, Integrated Child Development Services (ICDS) uses such growth chart for growth monitoring of under 5 children. The private pediatricians file also usually have such growth charts for their under 5-year clients. This is a pictorial chart and an effective educational tool to teach mothers how the growth is going on as far as her children are concerned. Plotting of a weight against age only once would categorize a child into a normal child or a child having low weight for age or very low weight for age. The serial observations of weight for age would give us the progress of a child as far as physical growth is concerned. Here only the weight for age is measured. We may educate mothers about the various factors affecting the growth of a child. Simultaneously, with increasing age, we may educate mother about the milestone development and other mental and emotional aspects of development of children. Analysis of data from such growth charts over time would give us an idea about the growth pattern of children in our setup. This is a small battery operated weighing scale used for measuring the weight of food grains even in microgram. Such instruments are used for different research studies in the field of nutrition. This is a popular weighing scale known as Salter scale. Young infants and small children are weighed using Salter scale. It gives us the accuracy of 500 gram. The weight of a child is measured using Salter scale and then plotted over the growth chart in an Anganwadi. We have range of cold chain equipments in most of the primary health center. It includes ice line refrigerators, in which most of the vaccines are stored from a week to 6 weeks. Then deep freezers, which are used for preparing frozen ice packs. For moving vaccines from the storage site to the end user, vaccine carriers are used. These are sturdy thermocol boxes having airtight lid. There are 2 to 4 ice packs inside in each vaccine carrier. Smaller thermoses are also used depending upon the requirement of vials of vaccine. So vaccine carrier is an important member of a cold chain system for maintaining potency of vaccines. It is used for last 40 years in universal immunization program. Nowadays, even vaccine against corona, Covishield or Covaxin is also transferred from one place to another using such vaccine carriers. We have a shelf and a cupboard in our museum having more than 25 food grains kept in glass bottles. Cereals, pulses, condiments and oil containers are kept in this cupboard. In exam, 1 or 2 spots would be there in which you are required to identify the food grain, write its caloric value, write the protein content, mention the diseases which are possible because of the deficiency of a specific nutrient, and a few questions related to National Nutrition Program. We have vitamin A bottles and containers of vegetable oil which is fortified with vitamin A and vitamin E. Food enrichment and food fortifications are commonly asked short notes in exam. We have iodized salts bags as well as a very simple salt tasting kits which test iodine content of an iodized salt. This is simple starch solution. The shade of a color would give us an idea what is the iodine content of a salt. Is it 0 ppm, 15 ppm, 30 ppm or 60 parts per million? This is a picture of a dissecting microscope. We have more than 20 such dissecting microscopes in our laboratory. The ready-made slides of insects are kept under the watch glass of dissecting microscope. With the help of such dissecting microscope, we may be able to identify different insects, their species and their sex depending upon the morphological features. We have number of slides for mosquitoes, flea, tick, mite and louse in our laboratory. So whenever you are free, you may visit our laboratory and can go through different identification feature and identify the insects in that slide. Most of these insects are vectors of a variety of infectious diseases. This is a slide which shows different phases of a sandfly. You may read details about the sandfly from the textbook. You can identify the slide of sandfly by its identification features. We have slides of rat flea also. In Gujarati, rat flea is known as chachad and is responsible for transmission of. We have slides of ticks. Ticks are known for transmission of tick typhus, tularemia and tick paralysis. These are also involved in many viral hemorrhagic fever transmission also. Housefly is the most familiar insects and is responsible for variety of foodborne diseases. We have slides of housefly. You are required to identify in a breeding source of water where you can see different eggs belonging to Anopheles, Culex or Aedes. You may see such eggs in slides also. The Anopheles larvae are surface feeder and you can see with naked eyes the larvae of various species of mosquito like Anopheles, Culex and Aedes. Slides of such larval stages also. We have pupal stage in our slides also. This is somewhat dormant and resistant stage which is observed in many breeding places of mosquito. We have slides of adult mosquito like Anopheles, Culex and Aedes. We have very specific identification features for each such slides like adult Anopheles female or a male could be identified from its spotted wings. Similarly, Aedes mosquito can be identified from white and dark bands over hind limbs which are easily seen in this slide. Observing such slides do not require any method. We can see directly such slide under dissecting microscope. We have slides of louse. This instrument is used for residual spray. Variety of insecticides like synthetic pyrethrum, malathion, keothrine are prepared with adequate strength and filled in such container. With the use of stirrer pump, the inside wall of bedroom, kitchen and drawing room are sprayed with insecticide. This is called indoor residual spray. This is respiratory exerciser and can be used in industrial and occupational health.